Hello, students. Today we are starting a new topic in the forms of business organization, and the form we are going to learn is cooperative organization. It can also be named as cooperative society. Both names are correct. Then a question arises, what is a cooperative society and how it is different from other forms of business organization? So first of all, the cooperative societies are compulsory to be registered in India. There is a compulsion if we are going to form a new cooperative society, it must be registered under Cooperative Societies Act. And the members requirement is also different. Here we have only at least 10 adult persons are required. 10 adult here means 10 persons who have attained the age of 18 years. Minors are not allowed. And why the cooperative societies are formed? What is the requirement of forming such organization? It is formed due to several irregularities in the market and the for saving the producers from exploitation by the middlemen. So how it works? I'll give you an example. Suppose A is a producer and Z is a consumer. A sell its goods to B in turn sell it to C, and it may be more channels like D, then it reaches to Z. So here between the producer and consumer there are three middlemen. Or commission agent. A offered the product, suppose at rupees 10, then B will offer it to C at rupees 12, C 14, D 16. It's a common profit margin, very reasonable. So A sell it to B at rupees 10, B sell it to C at 12, and C sell it to D at 14, and D sell it to Z at 16. So what is the final price? It is 16 for Z. You can see that there is a great difference between the prices offered by the producer and prices paid by the consumer. So the cooperative societies are formed to eliminate them. These are eliminated by the cooperative society. Now they are offering directly their product to the consumer. If it is offered at 10, then consumer will pay also 10. So that's why cooperative societies are formed. Now some features of cooperative societies are, first is voluntary association. Voluntary association here means that any person can join the cooperative society if it is already formed. he or she must be at least 18 years of age. There is no foundation, no discrimination on anyone to become a member of the cooperative society. Means no caste, creed, sex, religion, any type of discrimination is not allowed here. Anyone can join and anyone can leave also whenever they require such situation. If they want to leave it, they have to just give a notice to the society that I am leaving. That's why it is voluntary association. Anyone can join anytime and anyone can leave this organization. Next point is legal status. As I have told you that the cooperative societies are compulsorily be registered in India, so they will be getting a separate legal identity. We have used the word here, entity. Whenever any organization, any type of organization is being registered, then it has a separate legal existence apart from its members. So here registration is compulsory. That's why there is a separate legal identity of the cooperative organization or society apart from its members. Members are different and organization is different. They both have different entity. The next point is limited liability. Limited liability is applicable in the cooperative societies. It means that the members of cooperative societies does not have to pay any dues to the society or outsider. They have to pay only those amount which they have invested. We will take one more example. Suppose we have a cooperative society and A has invested rupees 10,000 in it. He joined as a member of this cooperative society and his liability will be limited up to rupees 10,000. If the society is in a great loss, if the resources of societies are unable to pay the debt, member have to pay only this amount, rupees 10,000, not beyond this, not a single rupee. That's why their liability is limited. And it is limited up to the capital contributed by them. Means it is the maximum amount up to which he will pay if there is a loss. It is the capital contribution of A. The cooperative societies are, when formed, their structure is similar to a joint stock company, means every member has to pay the share capital. Like A has paid rupees 10,000. At least 10 persons are required. Minimum number is 10. 10 persons are required to form the society. They have to contribute share capital. And in case of loss, they will have a limited liability up to the capital contributed by them. And this type of society have number of members. Minimum is 10. Minimum is 10. And maximum is no limit. So there may be any number of members more than 10 in the cooperative society. Now it is very difficult to manage the society, so we have a board of directors to manage the society. And the board of directors are elected from the members only. Among the members, anyone can propose the name of another member, and if voting gets in favor of that member, he will be the member of the board of directors. So there is a democratic setup in this society, and every member, irrespective of their capital contribution, have equal voting right. So through voting, they elect their board of directors, and the board of directors will run the actual business. Although all the members have a right to participate in the meetings, but the final decision will be taken by the board of directors. So now the next merit is control. We have already seen there that every member is participating in the meeting, but the actual control lies in the hand of elected managing committee, where board of directors are there, and they will have the full control over the daily business activities. Next point is service motive. So we have learned that the cooperative societies is formed because of the exploitation of producer by middlemen, and society removes all the middlemen or commission agents which are in between the producer and consumer. So its main motive is to provide services to the society. And last point is equal voting right. Here we have seen already that irrespective of their capital contribution, every member have equal voting right. Whether they have contributed rupees 10,000 or 10 lakh, but their vote will be equal, as we have in our democracy. The rich person or the poor person, everyone has equal voting right. So that's all for today. Thank you, students.